In this video, we're going to talk about some of the underlying features of the new dock and finder in Snow Leopard. Now, the first thing you're going to notice when you open up a new window in Snow Leopard is this little slider at the bottom here. When you slide it to the right, everything gets grandpa sized and really big, and when you go to the left, everything gets incredibly small. Now you might be wondering why exactly this is added in. I thought the same as well. But if you go into your documents or any folder and you have, say, a PDF, you're able to switch through that PDF and look through all the pages of it without actually having to open up something like Adobe Reader or the preview application. So you're able to kind of skim through. If you have a lot of documents and you're not sure which is the right one, you don't really want to open it up for some reason, you can do that there. Apple has incorporated this sort of feature to everything that they've done in the Finder. So if you take a look at your music, for example, you can go into your iTunes library, you can go into any sort of folder that you have there, and from within the Finder, you are able to play the music without having to open up iTunes or whatever application you choose to use for music playback. As you could have seen, there was a little circle that went around that play or pause button. It just shows you the amount of time that has been played on that. Unfortunately, you're not able to scrub through the song or anything at the moment. This also applies to movies. If you take a look, you're able to view movies right inside the Finder.
Matthew's chin, take two, beep! Matthew's chin, take two, beep!
Got all this love in the room and everything. I'm horny.
Our number 2 story in the countdown, Glenn Beck goes...
You can almost watch the entire movie right there in the Finder. Yeah, that's nice. Some of the other features that have been added into Snow Leopard is the ability to remove items and then find them in the trash. For example, if I wanted to throw out that PDF that we were just looking at, I could go into the trash and I could see it there. In Leopard, in order to remove that item from the trash and take it back to where it was before, you either had to drag and drop it back in, or you could restore all. There's a new feature under the little option menu at the top to put back, and it will put back any of the selected files that you have back to their original destination before you threw them out. This is a nice little feature that a couple of people will be happy about. One of the other features in the Finder is the ability to take any picture that you have and turn it into your background without having to go into the system preferences. For example, I don't really have a good one, but we'll take my avatar. You can right click it, click Set to Desktop Background. After about a second, it'll show up as the background. It's very pretty. This way you don't have to go into your system preferences like you used to, go into the desktop and screensaver options and then add the folder and then find out where the picture is within the folder. Now you can just right click on any item that you have, for example this one, click Set Desktop Background, and it will take you back. It'll fill up the screen by default, and then you can change the settings in your system preferences. Let's talk a little bit about the dock quickly. There are a few changes to the dock. For example, when you click on an item, you'll see that it's now got a black UI around it rather than the original gray one. From here you have a few options that were the same, I believe, in Leopard. They've just kind of moved them around. You can open, you can show it in Finder, and you can remove it just like you could before. But there are a few new changes. We'll show you all the bars that you have. You can create a new window and then all the same features that you have there. One of the changes that they have done to the dock, which is turned off by default, but you can turn on by going into the system preferences and turning it on, is the ability to minimize windows into application icon. By turning this on, when you close WebKit, it will actually close down into the icon itself rather than being placed on the right side of the little roadmap there. Turning it off will then allow you to minimize the application as you did before. This is kind of a nice feature, especially if you have a very large toolbar or you have a large toolbar and not a lot of space on your screen. One of the other features that Apple has added is an expose sort of idea within, or sorry, the ability to see folders within your So for example, before in Leopard, if you wanted to see what utilities you had, you'd click on the icon and then it would open up in Finder the application folder for that. So it would take you to this, and that's what you would see. They've changed this, so now you can go into a folder and it'll pop up in that little opening, little window. You can take a look at everything that's in there. You can even launch applications and open folders right from that new little feature. Have a little scroll, you can go through all your stuff. Makes everything a little bit easier, so if I wanted to go and to change the expose features, or just use that expose, it's a lot easier. Which brings us to the expose features, which I was going to get at. Let's say you have a few windows open here. Let's just open up a whole bunch of stuff. It should be good enough. Now when you use expose, instead of just having the screen itself and the window, it now shows you what the actual application is and what's going on in it. Which is quite handy, because now if you have a lot of things that look very similar, you can see exactly what each item is, and it tells you right there at the bottom. Which is a nice little feature that makes everything quite easy. One of the other last features that we'll talk about, after I close everything, is the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi now will show you, if you have a MacBook or a computer with a Wi-Fi, that there's a signal strength beside the encryption type and the name of the Wi-Fi connection. So this will help people find out whether or not they're connecting to a stronger Wi-Fi. Before, you would have to actually go into the settings, join other network, and then it would show you, when you click show networks, in this window here. Now you're able to connect and you can see it, and there is a much quicker startup time. Can't really show you on this video, but when you connect to a Wi-Fi after you turn on the computer or after it comes out of standby, it is literally only about a second, which is incredibly quick. Before in Leopard it would take anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds to reconnect to whatever you were connected to before. That's it for this portion of the video. Take a look at our next video, which will cover the new features in QuickTime 10 for Snow Leopard.